Hello, and welcome to another episode of Young Black Misses. I'm your host, Morgan F., and today I am talking about what it's like to be vegan, what I eat in a day, and that kind of stuff, I guess. What I eat in a day and kind of why I went on this journey, I guess you could say. Um, so stay tuned for that in the main event. As always, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Young Black Misses. And now you can look me up on the web at youngblackmissespodcast.com, where you'll see a blog post that is pretty much recapping this episode. So stay tuned for, it'll be live now. So check that out as you're listening, so you can read along. And so let's get into the next segment. Shaking my curls, I'm shaking my curls, I'm shaking my curls, shaking my curls, I'm shaking my curls, I'm shaking my curls, I'm shaking my curls, shaking my curls. Okay, so because this show is called Young Black Misses, and y'all know I love me some him, okay? But I'm a poo-poo on him for like 20 seconds or the entirety of this segment, I guess. Okay, so I consider myself to be someone that eats mostly plant-based. Now, what I eat, I understand is my business and that's my choice. And I'm not out here trying to be like, everyone must be vegan. It is great, da da da. Like, that's not Morgan. That's not me. Like, I might minister to you the gospel, but I don't know if I'm about to minister you the gospel of veganism. I would encourage you to try it and incorporate it in your life once a week. Try to eat a vegan or eat a plant-based meal just because of the health benefits that are involved in not having animal product and dairy, that kind of stuff. But I would never try to force this on a person. However, my husband numerous times, you guys, has said, we watch the same things. I wanna do this for the animals and the environment. For me, it's always been I'm not a pet person. I don't really care about the animals, but it just seems, and I guess they're not human, but it just seems inhumane to treat animals in this way. It's just like, ooh, it just doesn't seem fair. It doesn't seem ethical to treat animals in this way, to slaughter them in this way. And it also doesn't seem cleanly. I think that's what really got me. And it just didn't seem cleanly. And I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I want to eat it, knowing what I know. And so in that aspect, I was like, ooh, you know what? Let me go ahead and say no. But this past week, my husband was offered hot dogs and hamburgers. He was offered steak, medium well, and I think that was it. And I think he was offered something with cheese. And each time he was offered these things, he took them. So I'm shaking my curls at him because he's not about that life and he needed to just go ahead and say it. And in all seriousness, I'm saying this and I'm laughing while I'm saying this because it's like, whatever, it's his business. If he wants to eat how he wants to eat, that's fine. Just let me know. Just let me know. And my husband listens to all these episodes before they are released, just because I need another person's opinion before I hit play. So I cannot wait for him to hear me bash him real quick. I love you. But yeah, just make up your mind, please. Thank you. Okay, on to the next segment. What you chewing? Whew, okay, let's get into it. What I'm chewing, or what I'm already chewing, is spinach and artichoke pasta with just a little bit of salt and black truffle oil, which I think really kicks it up and adds a certain umami to it. So this was, oh God. This was prepared with a vegan mozzarella. In order to make ooey gooey vegan mozzarella, it's a whole thing. And I'm just going to put it on my Pinterest. But to explain it, it's cashews, tapioca starch, and there's garlic powder, nutritional yeast, of course, water, probably salt and pepper. So that's blended up with some water, and then you stir it, and that's how you make the mozzarella side of it. That's my husband eating the back. And then you just add your spinach, your frozen spinach, and a can of artichokes, and then some onions and some garlic. You saute them up first. Then you put it in the oven, the whole thing. You add the cheese, you put it in the oven for about 15 minutes at 400 after you sauteed all the veggies and stuff. And then you eat it. Or some noodles. And you just enjoy it. Now, I literally throw the artichokes in there, kind of, not whole, but you can probably chop them and probably make it a little bit easier to digest, but I like the bite. It's very gooey and creamy. And if you need to add a little bit more, you need to add a little almond milk or whatever, you can add it to kind of thin it out a little bit. But I think we need that. I'm going to keep chewing. I'm going to keep chewing. And I'm going to get on to the next segment. We're going to be talking about more food. So I hope you're hungry. Or maybe full, because I might make you hungry. I don't know. On to the next segment. One of the biggest questions that I get, or that I see people, well, when I tell them, oh yeah, I've been eating plant-based, or I've been eating vegan, they say, well, what do you eat for breakfast? So I'm going to just break it down. Like, I'll probably give you maybe 3 to 5 meals per day. Now, I will preface this by saying I eat about 5 times a day. And yeah, I eat about 5 times a day. And that seems to be working for me. I think I've been doing a lot better with keeping my weight on. So I was having problems with that. I'm not going to lie. I was having problems with that. Between March and May, I lost like 15 pounds. But I think I've gained it back, and I've measured. It's been about 2 weeks now, and I've kept the weight on. So yay for that. So I think that's just something that happens when you kind of cut out stuff. It's just like, oh my God. But I think I've kept it on. I might fluctuate, but I think I've pretty much kept it on. So that's good. Okay. Breakfast. So I usually will start off the day with a couple glasses of water, because I don't eat breakfast till 10, because I'm just not like hungry. Unless I am, then I'll eat whatever. But if I'm not hungry, I'm probably not eating till 10. And so I will usually have a couple glasses of water or some tea, which, as my mother reminds me, that's not breakfast. But I'm giving you a visual, okay? So after I've had that, my breakfast. Now, 2 of these take forever. 2 of these are pretty quick. So I'll tell you the 2 that are quick. Quinoa with peanut butter. I put either a compote of strawberries or blueberries, or I do bananas, and then I'll put chia seeds on top for just like extra, or chia seeds or hemp seeds just for extra protein. That is delightful and so good. Oatmeal. So oatmeal made with almond milk. And I will put apples, walnuts, and dried cherries. That is wonderful. And very filling. Both of those are. Now, if I have time, I'll make my cinnamon rolls, which honestly is not very filling, but it tastes so good. And so that's like flour, and the inside is, the inside is not like, it's cinnamon, but it's got peanut butter on the inside. And I put simple syrup, and I kind of mix it together, and I roll it up, but it takes a while to roll everything out. And Like if I made it the night before and then I just prepped it, then that'd be better the day of. But sometimes I forget to do that. Now, my best meal ever. And sometimes I'll break these up and have a little bit, because there's 4 pieces to this. So I start with my spicy red potatoes, and I cut them up, season them with chili powder, smoked paprika, and garlic powder. Sometimes I put rosemary on there, but usually not. What else? And then cayenne pepper. And then I roast those. So while that's roasting, then I will get my lentil cakes going. Lentil cakes have lentils, mushrooms, apples, and I think that's it. And then there's like some maple syrup, liquid smoke, salt, peppers, seasonings, those type of seasonings. And then I will also make my air quotes carrot bacon, which has got liquid smoke, maple syrup, spices like paprika, that kind of stuff. It's just wonderful. So I fixed that, like the carrots go on the bottom of the air fryer, the patties go on the top, and it's kind of like a sausage patty. It doesn't look amazing, but it tastes quite good. So yes, I love that. That is. And then I would put all 3 of those components together, and I would have some fruit, preferably a charbroiled grapefruit. That is a good breakfast right there. So depending on what I eat, sometimes I'm not hungry in between 10 to 12. But if I am hungry, I'll usually eat like a banana or like some fruit in the middle. And then breakfast is done. So I'm drinking water. I drink water, a glass of water every hour or whenever it runs out. David always gets me another glass of water. And then by noon, it is whatever's left over, pretty much. Now, I sometimes get creative with the leftovers. I like put this with some rice. One of my favorite things to eat leftovers is, and I'll talk about this in a minute, but I make this avocado chimichurri, which is parsley, crushed red pepper flakes, garlic, olive oil, and I puree that in my blender, and then I put avocado cubes on top of it. So I like to put that over some rice. It's really good. Like I'll have leftover chimichurri and I'll put that over some rice. It's so good. But a lot of the times it's leftovers, or I will make chickpea tuna, quotation marks. So what that is, it's got avocado. It has vegan mayo, chickpeas, of course. I put seaweed in there to kind of fishy it up, and some other spices. It's quite delicious. And just mash things up and sandwich it between 2 pieces of bread. Bam! And then if you have some potato chips, boop, boop, delish. Okay, so leftovers is pretty much for lunch. And then I'll have another snack, dried cranberries, and cashews is usually a go-to, or walnuts is usually a go-to. Sometimes I'll have a smoothie, like a protein smoothie, with a frozen banana, almond milk, any berries I have laying around. So that's another thing that I will just have, just to kind of keep me going. And then for dinner, I'm going to rattle off maybe, a couple other lunch things I forgot to mention. Tostadas. So I'd get fat-free refried beans, and I just put it over a tostada, put some avocado on top of that, and some fresh pico. So good. And or I would just do pinto beans and rice, as well with an adobo pepper to kind of spice it up. So that would be another things I would have as well. Dinner. Now, I might eat the pinto beans and rice for dinner as well because I might get lazy. But usually I'm a little bit more creative. So maybe I might say 5, but I'm going to say top 3 vegan meals. Chickpea tacos. I really like chickpeas, so I think all these are going to have chickpeas in them. So sorry. But it's just really like a wonderful thing. No, it's not. I will make it a variety. Chickpea tacos. So that's got your peppers, your red onions, your chickpeas. I make a crema, like a cashew crema, and it's got avocado on it. It's just very fresh and filling, and you really don't miss the meat, in my opinion. I remember my dad, I served this to him, and he just loved it. So it was super cool. Another thing that I love to make when I'm feeling a little bit more fancy is I like to get a big old portobello mushroom, and that chimichurri that I had mentioned, I put that on top. So usually I have the leftovers of the chimichurri the next day because there's only two. I only get 2 mushrooms, so I always have leftover chimichurri, and I serve that with some like herb potatoes. Maybe not like the spicy ones, but I would use rosemary at that point, and maybe a veg like a spinach or kale. Speaking of kale, I really enjoy Tuscan bean kale skillet, if you will. And so that's sun-dried tomatoes and kale and navy beans. And the last time I had it, I had some garlic bread to go along with it. It's very good. Fresh and inexpensive. And then when I'm really feeling like comforting, how many is this? When I really feel like I need to be comforted, I like to eat mac and cheese, quotes, which is nutritional yeast. I put a splash of white wine in there, a little splash of lemon. I like to put broccoli with it because, yeah, why not? Get your veggies in there. It's great. And I feel like those are like the main ones that I love. Oh, I made crab cakes. Crab cakes I also really enjoy. So this is with artichokes. Oh, I have more. This is with artichokes and, again, chickpeas. I was trying to avoid saying chickpeas again, but it happens. And then there's just some other things I make in the Instant Pot with rice. So I've made a couple different things with rice and chickpeas, of course. So I've made like a Spanish rice that has, one time I made it really spicy because I got like the hot diced tomatoes. That was not a good idea because I couldn't even enjoy it, as my mom would say, but it was delicious. But diced tomatoes, artichokes, rice, chicken broth, or no, it's not chicken broth. It's veggie broth, obviously. It's veggie broth that I make from my scraps. So I know there's no chicken in it. It's definitely veggie broth. I don't know I said that. Sorry. And yeah, I put it in my Instant Pot and it's wonderful. And I also make this buffalo cauliflower. Let me talk about cauliflower for a second. I made this buffalo cauliflower dish too. And it's very spicy, but it's wonderful with rice and chickpeas, of course, and cauliflower and celery if you got it. And I make this ranch dressing that's not ranch. It's like, vegan ranch. It's wonderful. I love it because it's really spicy because I use like a half a cup of hot sauce. So I won't be able to make that. Speaking of cauliflower, I love to use cauliflower for like cauliflower wings. I make orange cauliflower, like orange chicken, but like orange cauliflower. I also have used it to make bolognese, sloppy joes. Like it is a wonderful feeling kind of food. Those are just a few things that I have made. And I'm actually going to create a blog post about this because about time this episode's out, the website will be up. For reals. Yay! So I will have some pictures of probably like a little slideshow type of thing of the different foods that I'm fixing. Lastly, a couple of the desserts that I really love. And I have a song, and it's not an original. I heard it off of a show, but I call it Manice. So it's ice cream, but it's nice cream. And it's made with frozen bananas. And I actually have some in the freezer right now. So I'm definitely going to get some because now I've had a taste for it. To me, it tastes kind of like a Frosty. It's really like a soft serve. So after you fix it, if you can control it, put it up and then you scoop it out. I also like making sherbet with agave nectar and a bag of frozen berries, whatever. Not sherbet, sorbet. Sorbet? Y'all know what I'm trying to say. And then I've made sugar cookies, peanut butter cookies. The lemon sugar cookies I made were so good, which makes me want to make them again. They're very tasty. I have pictures of that for you too. Yeah. So I pretty much just eat like you eat, but I just don't have any meat or animal product. It's great though. So yeah, on to the next segment. The positive tip. I think one of the things, and this might just be my own issue, that really gets me when people talk about vegan food is there's like an instant judgment that it's not hearty, it's not filling. My dad has said some goofy things that really like, oh my God, why did you say that? Like he called it low fat food, he called it bird food. I'm like, government name in my mind. I'm not gonna say it's government name, but really, like, why would you say that? And so I think just because I'm eating this way doesn't mean it's not a bad thing. It's because you're eating how you eat doesn't mean that's a bad thing either. So let's just not judge each other's eating. Like I said in the Shaking My Curls, like I would never force you to eat this way, minus my husband. No, never force. And I wouldn't even force him, but I just need him to kind of, like I said, get on the same page, like make a decision. But I think if you know your reason for eating this way or for eating this way, for being plant-based or vegan or whatever, then hold on to that and revisit your reason every time somebody says something foolish. Because people say something foolish. And I know that as of when I'm recording this, we haven't had a lot of holidays. We haven't really, it was just 4th of July. And, usually I do this big thing with my family on 4th of July. And I was all like, oh my God, what am I going to eat? And I'm going to a wedding soon. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, I told the mother of the groom, like, I think I'm just going to eat before, like social experience and social experiences and gatherings. And my friend, it's my cousin's birthday today, that if you're hearing this live, I'm like, oh, like, what am I going to eat to celebrate her birthday? She was like, bring some stuff over for yourself, I'm like, okay. So I think that's one of the trickiest parts is the social aspect of eating this way, just eating differently. Like, even if I was just gluten-free, it would just be complicated, but now I've added a whole bunch of stuff, but it's complicated. And I think I just have to remind myself as I minister to you, I ministered to myself, that my reason for doing this is like what I said, I care about the environment. I don't like the fact that there's animals are treated to me in an unethical way. And I don't love it just doesn't seem clean. The cleanliness of it, the meat is kind of questionable. Will I always eat this way? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. But right now I am enjoying it, and that's all that I care about. And so I don't know if that was really positive, but I'm just coming back to why I'm doing this. I guess it's my main thing that I'm trying to say. So just remember, and I think that's just beyond a certain diet, but like perhaps you're taking an adventure that may be different from what people in your family have done in the past. Like, just remember why you're doing it. Or maybe your spouse is maybe not someone that your family likes or loves or whatever. Just remember why you're with him or her, that person, I guess I could have said. Just remember your why. And I think that'll propel you through a lot of hard times. Okay. As always, you can find me at Young Black Mrs. on Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest too. I have a Pinterest, same name. I've been posting on there. I've been pinning on there. And I have some of the old recipes that I made. And then I have some stuff from my website on there. It's, and then the website is Young Black Mrs. Podcast. And as I always say at this moment, stop right now. Thank you very much. Snap a screenshot and tag me on IG. Thank you. That was not a great song, but I hope y'all don't mind me singing, because if you met me in person, I'd start singing out loud to you. It's just like something I do. So please don't be offended. I know I'm not like Beyonce or Alicia Keys or whatever, but I can hold a note. I think I can hold a little note. Anyways, until next week, we'll be talking about it's Minority Mental Health Month. So I'll be chatting about that in my upcoming episode, and perhaps I'll have a guest. Perhaps it'll just be me. Who knows? We'll see how it all shakes out. Until next time, guys, peace.